Hey there, everyone. We're back, finally, after like a few months. We will be covering Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood today, and for that we have a very special guest. Wes, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Wes. I run a niche Star Wars Legends slop Twitter account where I post incomprehensible bits. And I'm
Yeah.
glad to be talking about Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah,
I guess, you guys want to start? Actually, never mind. I guess we'll just start with the first episode. I
I
think.
will.
Alright.
Sorry, what was that, Hannah?
I will preface. I'm really sick right now, so if I stop talking or like start coughing randomly, that's because I'm dying. So yeah, just letting you know, guys.
Yeah, alright. Um, let's start with the first episode, I guess, then. I
Yeah.
don't really have
First
much to.
episode of Brotherhood.
Yeah. I don't
Mhm.
really have much to say on it. I think it's just like a neat little introduction. Does a good job introducing everything. Wes has a bit more to say on that. I'll let him
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, so I got introduced to the series through Brotherhood fairly recently. I watched that, read the manga, then watched it again, and I'm actually a big fan of this first episode. It's essentially like a hook for the rest of the series made with the benefit of hindsight. I think it's interesting how it uh, introduces essentially a bunch of narrative threads for the series as it'll go on. It introduces the homunculi at the very end. It throughout it hints at like kind of the greater conspiracy going on with Amestris and its government. It does a good job of introducing the characters, the power system, and I found it to be just instantly gripping in a way that I didn't really find the show again for another couple episodes. When I was first going through it, this episode immediately hooked me. And while I still enjoyed the following episodes, I wasn't like as invested again up until Scar gets introduced a few episodes later. So I think it really serves its purpose well as basically throwing you straight into the middle, showing you off this whole cast of characters before following the manga a bit more closely and following chapters to introduce you to these characters on a bit of a smaller scale with more time to actually sit with them and get to know them. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it as an introduction for the series, and I think that it benefits quite a bit from its addition.
Yeah, and then okay, episode two is what I'm a bit iffy on. I don't really like its placement that much. I'll get to that when we get to Lior, I guess. Or actually, no, I'll get to it
Yeah,
now because we're covering it now, obviously. I wish episode two was episode three instead, because episode three has this part where in the original manga, episode three was like chapters one and two, so like that was our
yeah,
introduction to Ed and Al and all of them. Um, for
yeah.
that,
Episode two adapts like chapters. What is it, like 22 and 23 or something? Like
yeah.
it's a fair bit further in.
I really wish they kept that to after the Lior stuff, because in the manga that was it was building like a reveal of what their backstory was, why they were, because like in the manga it first like starts off with like what happened to them, like it does in the anime too, but or it doesn't in the anime, but like it does show it in episode one. So like I guess
Yeah.
that would be like its manga and anime equivalent. But like in the manga specifically, it starts off with that to build up a little bit of mystery, and then like we meet
Uh-huh.
them as they are now. What?
The oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, do it. It's fine.
The best kind of art like rationalization I can see for it is I guess by kind of getting the origin out of the way immediately, but uh the first time that we see like Ed's experience with the truth still doesn't answer all of our questions. So I guess maybe the reason they did this for pacing, other than just assuming people already knew the plots of the origin from the '03 show, um, could have been wanting to create a bit more distance between the reveal of Ed seeing the truth and then just a couple chapters later, um, Al getting his memories back of his experience. So maybe it's to try and draw a bit more distance between that, but I'm still not really a fan of how much that changes the pacing. Um, Especially when both episode 1 and jumping ahead an episode here, but Lior have they take the manga's kind of setup of this mystery around what happened to Ed and Al, and seeing that delivered pretty faithfully to the manga in the Lior adaptation does fall a bit flat when the previous episode saw all of the details that they're alluding to with their backstory.
Yeah, that's like kind of my thing, because like I like the bit of mystery it builds up between there, like with the hints of like the reference to like the legend that or sorry, the myth that Ed tells Rose of the boy flying too close to the sun as well.
Yeah.
I like the reveal of his arm as well in the manga, and of Al's armored body too.
Mm-hmm.
I do actually. There is one thing that I kind of like Brotherhood for. Like, there was one bit of dialogue in both the manga and O3 that I found a bit cringe. So, like, you know how, like, the priest, like, realizes what Ed's, like, Alchemist certification is? Or, no, sorry, title is. Basically, like, he says,
Fullmetal?
like, oh, you're the Fullmetal Alchemist, like that, you know? Like, I've always found that a bit odd, like, just,
Yeah.
Well, in Brotherhood, it's just like, I see, that's why you're called the Fullmetal Alchemist. It's a bit better.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, minor wording tweak to deliver it better.
It comes across as just better to me, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I just don't really see a reason for him to be, like, shouting it like that.
Yeah.
It's just odd.
Maybe he's a big fan. They do kind of establish a fun thing in the O3 show leans into this a bit more in its like flashbacks, but it's also present in the manga and Brotherhood. I do think there is like a fun idea of Ed going around trying to learn more about human transmutation. I think it's fun that he's kind of become like a wandering hero that people in the East know about. And so like I guess it's kind of playing off that. I do think that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
That was one thing that was sticking out to me while reading stuff is or while rereading the first 31 chapters of the manga for today is it is funny how Ed is kind of like the only alchemist we ever see actually like doing shit for people other than the military. Which wow, it's almost like this Amestrosian government isn't great.
Yeah. I think that was made pretty clear based on the name of their leader, like calling him the Führer.
Yeah. His title is Führer and his first name is King.
Yeah, that definitely isn't a red flag at all.
Yeah.
Oh, there is actually one thing I want to cover in regards to episode 1 that I forgot to mention. I've seen like one criticism that like Bradley taking out Isaac like ruins the reveal of him being Wrath, obviously.
I don't see how that would ruin it. Like
the most we get out of that is just like we see he's a skilled fighter. That's about it. Like above normal. And the fact that like the military might be corrupt, but like that we don't like that obviously serves as foreshadowing for later that Isaac was correct, but like Isaac himself is a madman being used by them, so like it casts a bit of doubt on what he's saying. I don't think it ruins it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Brotherhood before any other version, and it didn't really strike me as like. I mean, I didn't even know what a homunculus was at that point, so I couldn't have had it even foreshadowed for me. But yeah, like my takeaway was just like, whoa, like, what the fuck did he just do?
Yeah, it was like the same thing for me. Like even when like I knew what it was, when like Envy was fully revealed and things like that, and like we obviously knew what they were because of lust and gluttony. I don't think it really spoiled it for me at all. Like. I was still pretty surprised when I saw, like, whoa, okay. Yeah. That's about all I have to really say in episode 1.
It's a good
Back
reveal.
on topic to episode... Do you want to start... I think we've said all we need to about episode 2, really.
Yeah.
You want to start or talk about episode 3, then?
Yeah, episode 3, do you want to go first, or me?
Go ahead.
Alright. Yeah, episode 3 is kind of strange for me because I think it's a really solid, like, pretty much one-to-one adaptation of the first 2 manga chapters, but as I was kind of saying earlier... Sorry?
I'm sorry. It also isn't really rushed at all either, despite what some
Yeah.
people say.
Yeah, I mean, it's adapting the show kind of consistently adapts at a pace of like 2 chapters per episode. Like, I didn't really feel like it was rushed. But yeah.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like some of the chapters are longer as well. Like
yeah.
there are
I
some
mean, yeah,
that
you've
that's
got,
just like one chapter per episode. You know.
yeah, ones that are like bigger, like plot or character growth heavy focus ones do sometimes get like a full episode dedicated to them, but like, I don't know, I think it's fine to have these two squeezed into one episode. I will say, I do think it kind of suffers overall from the pacing of having its beats already kind of hit in the first 2 episodes. That was one thing that was confusing to me when I was first watching the show, is just thinking of like, because they adapt it pretty straight up from the manga, it's odd to me seeing like, basically back to back in episodes, them building up the reveal that Ed has no body and Al has no body and Ed is missing an arm and a leg.
I do. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah,
Actually,
no, that's kind of just what I had to say about that.
I do have a slight defense for this because like there is like a difference of context between like their reactions. Like
That is true.
with Isaac, it's like both the audience reaction and his, because like he's also a state alchemist. He knows how everything works. Like with Rose, in her case, she's someone who doesn't fully know how it works. She's trying to walk the same path Ed did, so that would obviously come as like a surprise to her. I think like it still mostly works.
I guess the thing is, I feel like those reactions might work better for me if they were like swapped, where Rose is basically like us if we're dropped right into the setting of not understanding, the fact that Al is a soul bound to a suit of armor, whereas Isaac, being a state alchemist, is able to put together like, this is clearly a result of human transmutation gone wrong. So I do think it's odd having the Rose reaction like come after that, like from a storytelling perspective, but overall it's not like a big enough issue that it really detracts from my enjoyment of the show.
Yeah, there is the thing where like I wish like Lior was episode 2, so like it like first revealed like something happened in episode 1 like it did in the manga.
Yeah.
And then like it continually builds up to it in Lior, and then like we find out what happened, and then episode 3 is like revealing what fully happened. Then I wish that was kind of how it was structured. I think that would like improve it quite a bit. There is one thing in the manga version of Lior I'm kind of iffy on in characterization to Ed. So like this is something I noticed on like my reread of it in preparation for this episode specifically. But like this was cut in Brotherhood, but like Ed basically like tells like the priest that like if he gives them the Philosopher's Stone, then like he won't report his deeds to like the people at all. Like he won't tell them basically. That strikes me as like kind of odd, because like then like he'd just kind of be like letting Rose walk down that path at all. It's kind of contradicted by what he does here with Rose and what he does in like the very next episode. Sorry, the next chapter. I forget. That's cut from Brotherhood. My bad. Yeah, it's like you could argue, I guess, that it's a bluff, but like it's not really exactly made clear.
Yeah, I was talking a bit earlier about this, and like I feel like you could argue that maybe it is just sort of a bluff, like we see not in the anime obviously, but in the next chapter in the manga he has a similar bluff with Yoki that he immediately goes back on. So it could be possible that he was just essentially lying to get the Philosopher's Stone, or alternatively it may have just been that in the second chapter they didn't quite have Ed's characterization nailed down.
Yeah. I think at worst, like if it is like an out of character thing, it's just like a slight oversight. It's not like a huge thing.
Yeah.
It just makes the manga version for me at the moment. I could easily be argued out of this. It just makes the manga version a bit worse than the Brotherhood one in my mind for that reason.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's really all there is to say about Lior, I
Lior?
guess.
Yeah. Should we maybe do a detour to talk about the cut chapters?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
We don't
because
need to talk about the train one. I didn't reread that at all. It's
yeah.
worthless.
Well, yeah. So
You can if
uh
you want to, but
yeah, following Lior in the manga, there's a pair of chapters 3 and 4 which are two kind of one-off adventures. The fourth being, like you said, one about essentially anti Emestris government terrorists hijacking a train with a general on it that Ed happens to be on. And then the third is a story about like a mining town run by a corrupt and complacent lieutenant. Um,
Andor fans.
yeah. So yeah, I think that like of the two, I don't really have a problem with the train one being cut because I feel like essentially its role is already fulfilled by the first episode. It essentially acts as an introduction to the idea of there being like unrest with anti-government movements in the East, and it introduces Mustang and Hawkeye, kind of sets up more of the military side of the cast. But that's already done pretty well in the first episode of Brotherhood, so I don't think that one suffers too much
Yeah.
from being cut. But I do always find myself missing the third chapter showing it's essentially a story where Ed is stopping by a mining town that has come under harsh times due to the fact that its people are being overtaxed by the military official overseeing it. Ed finds out that these people clearly do not like the military. Some of them ask him for help, and he's initially hesitant to do so, but eventually ends up violating one of the big laws for alchemy, which is he creates a bunch of gold, which is, not approved of due to the fact that it's pretty bad for their economy if you go around doing that. Buys the mining town rights from the lieutenant, Yoki, who will later on become a recurring character. And then he, while he's not looking, transforms the gold back into coal and gives the rights to the mining town back to the people. And it ends with this nice little bit of them accepting Ed and saying that maybe he hasn't completely sold his soul to the military after all. In the anime, it's adapted as essentially a throwaway bit of exposition at the beginning of an episode, where they just have, what is it, Havoc explains to Mustang that, oh, this is what Ed's been up to.
I do kind of like that, but at the same time, it would have been better if they just had it there. I think it's fine mostly. Actually, no, it's not fine. But if you want, you can just use the O3 version of that. It's pretty much the same with the exception of Lyra. The voice actors are all the same. You can just insert it or just add the manga in there. It sucks that it was not adapted though, aside from a gag later on.
Yeah. I'm being a little overly critical because I do genuinely adore Brotherhood, but these first 4 episodes are kind of the it's the closest the show comes to stumbling for me, where there's a bunch of bits that I have to nitpick and changes to the pacing that I think work to varying degrees and sometimes don't.
Yeah, I think I think most of these are just subjective issues ultimately, not really that substantial. Pacing's about it. That's the only really hit it takes. These episodes are still very, very good. If they were bad at all, we'd be mentioning a bunch of plot stuff and all the like.
Yeah.
I guess, do you want to move on to Nina then?
Yeah. The one thing that people talk about from this show that I have somehow never heard of before watching the show. So I did not have that spoiled for me, which was fun.
Fun is one way to describe it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's hints of it early on, but this is the first bit that we get of seeing how kind of darker the show can go in tone. this episode's pretty rough. We get to see.
I guess this is kind of where we see like another sort of like sin of alchemy, like
Yeah.
like the dark power that alchemy has.
I do also like the basic character build up for Ed so far. It's made more clear in the manga, but like it's still kind of here in Brotherhood, where like he has like various successes, and then like this is the first time he really stumbles as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing it introduces for Ed is it's also showing on his quest to get his and Al's bodies back. Like, this is the first time we see him kind of seeing the depths of like evil that alchemy can take people to. That's like kind of shaking his faith in his quest. We see that built on later in a few episodes with how Philosopher's Stones are made, where we get to start seeing that in a power system based on equivalent exchange, trying to get great results sometimes results in really terrible costs. Such as, merging your daughter with a dog so that you can get a grant from the government.
Yeah. There is also like one thing I really like with the scene with Scar killing Gran as well. I do wish like that this I will talk about this a bit later, but I'll like briefly go over it now. There is a scene in the manga where which was cut from Brotherhood, unfortunately, so like there's a bit of missed potential here, where like it was shown that like Basque Gran, that's his name, I think, was one of the people who was trying to have like peace between the Ishbalans and the Amestrians. So that like adds a bit of nuance. Had that scene been included, that would have added a bit more nuance to Scar's actions.
Yeah. Actually, I think the fight scene between him and Grand is an anime original too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny or awkward that they would cut that later like flashback with Grand and Ishval, whereas they'll like actually flesh out how he died, which is just kind of a throwaway line in the manga.
I mean, like, I am fine with it, because, like, it does, like, establish just how powerful and threatening Scar is.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you're like, oh, this is someone you don't want to fuck with. This is going to be, like, a tough threat for Ed to face.
I also do think there is an argument for cutting the, some of the parts of the Ishvalan flashbacks that they did, that, I don't know, I can maybe discuss later when we get to that.
Yeah, like, in a few episodes' time.
Because, that's going a little ahead. But, yeah. We'll get there when we get there. Yeah. I will also say that, the introduction of Scar is what really kind of hooked me in this show, because he is just kind of instantly, like, on top of being, like, a very, cool presence. He's, like, a very, instantly, like, he's aura farming as he goes around. But on top of that, he kind of hints at, like, the greater ideas of the series of, like, he's basically like the physical manifestation of showing where the series is going to go with dissecting how terrible Amestris is as a government, and my personal favorite plotline, which is the Mustang and Hawkeye trying to climb through the ranks after Ishval story.
I think he represents, like, part of him at least is like what such careless like use of like power and alchemy can do to like a community and like individuals. Like how dangerous it is to just like needlessly execute an entire population of people.
I think he's a very fun like foil for Ed, in he has some very direct parallels with Ed and Al's stories of experiencing loss on a greater scale than they did, and turning to alchemy as a solution, although he does it more against his will than they did. I also think just the thing that's interesting about Scar is that the show doesn't like paint him as an outright like, he's a monster for like seeking revenge, which makes him no better than the Amestrician government. Like, no, the show will like criticize him for perhaps seeking revenge on people like Ed or Al who weren't involved in Ishval at all. But I do like that Reign of Sorrows essentially ends with like Mustang sitting Ed down and explaining his motivation, being like, yeah, Amestris did carry out a genocide. Like, he's not just some madman consumed by rage, which Ed disagrees with, but I don't think that the show is necessarily taking Ed's point, or agreeing with Ed's point in that scene of arguing, like, yes, by seeking revenge, Scar has proven himself no better than them. More so just that... sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's embarrassing.
Episode 6 is like just mostly a fight between them. There is like a contrivance I do want to bring up. I don't get how Mustang and his men were able to like sneak up on Scar the way they did without him hearing, since like they have like vehicles with them. It's just odd, you know? Like,
yeah. He was very focused on beating up Ed, I guess.
Yeah, that's about it for episode... Sorry, not...
Yeah.
Did I say episode 6
also,
before,
of course, I've got to get my greeny slop jokes in, of course. We also get the first introduction of Ed's, like, K. Keldroma running gag, where he repeatedly gets his arm destroyed.
That's fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, let's get to episode 6, I guess. There is a contrivance here as well, where, like, they just, like, where, like, Ed, Alan Armstrong just happen to run into, like, fuck, what's his name? Marco? Yeah.
Yeah, Marco.
Like, someone who's just really important to the plot, who, like, conveniently just has information that they need.
That was because they were, of course, being guided by the Force.
There is one thing that I do appreciate O3 here for. It did kind of fix this, where like they were just actively seeking him out to begin with.
Right.
I do think that like makes it better to a degree.
Yeah.
That being said, I do like really like what Marco represents, and like there's like a lot of foreshadowing to the reveal of the Philosopher's Stone there.
Yeah, Marco. Like, even though when I rewatched the show after finishing the manga, like, it did kind of catch me off guard of just... I felt like the mystery of the Philosopher's Stone lasted a little longer than just 2 episodes, essentially. I do like how Marco builds up as this ominous, like, you know, knowledge of the devil that should not be replicated, and I think they deliver on that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
What was episode 7 again?
Episode 7 is about the Elric brothers, like, going through his notes to try and decipher.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It is, yeah, which, you know, they reveal that, it's made from grinding up live human beings, essentially.
Yeah,
and the more souls you doom to becoming a Philosopher's Stone, the more energy you get out of it.
Yeah, I actually do like how like how that's like a reveal that like it doesn't actually like bypass the rules of equivalent exchange. It just has like a far harsher price that just doesn't affect you personally, you know. That's like a really cool reveal to me. And like it also like gives meaning to like its color being blood red as well.
There's also something funny that I noticed as the manga goes on, which is earlier on they refer to the idea of like the Philosopher's Stone, and when Marco's break, they say that that must be because it was a fake, which I don't know if this is just like meant to be in universe. I don't understand it yet, or the idea of what the Philosopher's Stone is kind of evolved as it went on.
All right, I can explain this. So like in Brotherhood, basically, it's like it's basically like it just wasn't a complete one. So like they just assumed it was fake. It just like wasn't fully stable. In O3, however, like it actually was fake. It was just like a similar thing called like a redstone.
I assumed it was just the priest from Lior had like one that he had essentially used up all the energy for miracles.
Yeah, like it just wasn't stable. Like that's how the show explained it. I don't know if that's in the manga though. I haven't fully read the manga, admittedly, just like a few areas of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What else is there? I like how Wait, did I? Oh fuck! I forgot to mention. Like, I like all the scenes with like Ed, Winry, and all the others in episode 6 as well. Yeah, it's just really cool to see them back again.
Oh yeah, sorry, I completely skipped over that while
Yeah, I forgot to. My bad.
looking through it. Yeah, but Winry and I'm sorry, I can't remember their grandmother's name. Is she just referred to as like Granny?
Penico, I think her name is.
Peneko, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, completely blanked there, but yeah, they're fun supporting characters. I like that they get to have a greater role in the plot as it goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I guess something I'm kind of surprised I didn't touch on earlier, but very fun things in this world are just kind of the power system, essentially, of I adore alchemy as like a power system for this world. I think it's very fun, the different ways that it all operates on the same principles, yet essentially every character has found a different gimmick to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Um,
something I really like
yeah.
a lot.
And sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
And also just on that topic of fun texture of the world, I also love automail as a thing, like the idea
Automail
of
is so cool.
yeah, this like 1914 fantasy world does just have like these great like retro prosthetics that kind of suck in interesting ways.
Yeah, speaking of sucking, there is... I think O3 goes way too far with automail to a degree where, like, it shows, like, a full-on cyborg. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Oh yeah. I haven't finished O3. I've only seen about 20 episodes. I do know there is or I do know that apparently there's full body automail in that. I know that they reference that in Brotherhood in the manga when they go to Rush Valley, someone asks Ed if his armor is full body automail.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like,
Yeah.
it's just a mention like that. Like, you know, maybe that's actually an Easter egg to that. I wonder. They don't really go near with that. But, like, in the case of O3, is like a full-on, like, cyborg, like, half robot. Like, that's just kind of taking it too far in my mind. I haven't fully seen it in execution, but, like, the concept just, I think, just inherently doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird in this like setting to have like full cyborgs. I guess yeah, there's a big step between like very advanced like arm and leg prosthetics versus full on new bodies, but again, kind of taking shots in the dark because I haven't seen O3 all the way through, so I can't speak on execution.
Actually, what if we do a Starforge on that at some point and we invite you on? Like, we can,
Yeah,
like,
I'd
fully
be down for
watch
that.
through it. I think that would be cool
Yeah.
to do. I
would be
am
interesting.
interested in going through that again, because some of the stuff I've seen does actually look pretty neat. It's just, like, a lot of it just sounds really insane to me. But, yeah, O3 I think would just be cool to go through. But yeah, let's get back on topic. What were we talking about before? You were talking about, like, how cool Automail was, I think.
Yeah, I'm just a very big fan of like the flavor of this universe. Essentially, it's very fun. Like aesthetically, it's in a fun time period of this idea of like fantasy 1910s. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I also enjoy just alchemy as like the power system is like grounded in a way almost, despite the insanity that can be pulled off with it. Where I was talking to a friend about this, but like I think there's a very fun bit of charm about the fact that like the greatest alchemist in the world can still be shot in the back of the head to be dealt with. I think that's just a very fun, like, I don't know, I enjoy glass cannons, and especially when they're done in like a very unique and like interesting way like this. Just from a perspective of like just looking for an engaging power system in your action show, I think Fullmetal more than delivers on it.
Yeah. Which episode were we on again? Episode 8? Was it?
So we've gone into episode 8, the fifth laboratory.
Oh, Fifth Laboratory. There's actually something that
Yeah.
O3 does that I want to talk about after, but like I guess we'll
All
start
right.
with you.
Well, yeah. This is a big one. Yeah, it's where we see the characters kind of start putting pieces together. With like after learning how Philosopher's Stones are made. And like looking into the fact that there is this corruption and complacency in the Amestris government. Um, they've got like uh abandoned labs in Central, like taking patients marked or prisoners marked for death and using them to create a human suffering battery.
Yeah. Fuck. What was I gonna say? There's also this thing where like they figured out as well how to bound like souls to armor. So like they have like Barry the Chopper as well, and then
Barry the Chopped.
what was
Barry
the
the
other guy's
Chopped.
name? I forget. He was just like he's in the
Um,
series for like
oh,
such little
the
time. Slicer or
it's number
something.
42. Hang on.
Slicer, I think is his name. The Slicer brothers.
Yeah, I cannot.
Something like
I
that.
think it's Slicer.
Oh, there's
I'm
like
pretty sure. I'm
a
like
pair of
90%
brothers
sure.
bounded to one set of armor.
Yeah, that is an interesting idea as well. That being said, though,
Oh,
I
number
don't like
48.
how his armor looks. It looks not armorish enough. Besides the helmet, I think.
Oh yeah, the Slicer brothers.
Yeah, the Slicer brothers. Those are their
Uh-huh.
names fully. There is one thing I kind of like and kind of don't like 034 is like how they handled Barry the Chopper. I do like how like he has a personal
yeah.
connection to them. I do like how it shows like Ed for the first time like genuinely afraid for his life.
Mm-hmm.
But like there is an issue like how he's presented as like a serious, very serious threat. But then later he's kind of treated as a joke.
Yeah.
It's just like if you're gonna do that, just don't treat him like a joke at all. That's what I'd say, really.
Yeah, that can be tough to like juggle for tones of having like the guy who represents Ed's like first experience with like the horrors of the world outside of alchemy, of like regular human evil, also later being like a funny guy who has a crush on Hawkeye.
In fairness, like the
But,
latter
yeah.
part doesn't really happen in O3, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, yeah, that's not as bad, I guess.
He is still shown as a joke during the lab stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah. um,
Yeah. Oh, also, barely related side note, but this the fifth lab does have one of my favorite Ed moments, which is when he wins the first like health bar of the boss fight with number 48 by going, "Hey, look over there." Essentially when he goes like, "Oh, look, it's my way stronger brother Ed about to hit you," and he looks over
Al, you mean?
to get his head off.
I think you mean Al.
It's fun.
Or sorry, Al, my bad.
Yeah.
I like the part when he's like crawling in a vent and he calls himself small. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, on top
Ed's
of
a very
I actually
endearing
like all the
protagonist. I like
small
him a lot.
jokes. I like how the small jokes
Yeah.
like provide like an actual purpose in the narrative, showing like Ed's insecurities, his inner like selfishness,
Yeah.
as well as like there being like an actual reason he is as small as he is, where like
Mhm.
his body is giving off like stuff to Al, like
Yeah. He's
so
eating
like
for two.
it's also because like his automail is like really heavy, and then like once like he loses both of those, like he just grows like far taller.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, part of me wishes like he just stayed short the entire time, like he did in the O3 series.
I think that would
Real.
have been interesting. And he like gets over his height.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could have been cool, but like I do really like how it was handled there. It's like for that reason I don't think the joke ever gets old for me.
Hmm. I also
Oh,
just like the bit
speaking of
of
which-
half the time when someone says something about him being short, he will make up what they said to get mad at.
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot to talk about the humor of the series. Because like there is one scene that's kind of criticized in the Fight with Scar episode.
I think I know the bit you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I don't personally find it that out of place. It kind of like made the scene better for me in a way. It's like a very subjective thing. Like comedies, like you can't really objectively measurably. Fuck me. You can't
Yeah.
really objectively measure its quality in a narrative. It's just like it's just there. it can bother you, it cannot. It didn't personally for me. In fact, like it made the scene more heartwarming for me. I think it's definitely not like it's kind of comical in the manga. Like there's one panel that can be, but like it's definitely less so there than it is in Brotherhood. I personally find like Brotherhood's humor really funny a lot of the times, even though they kind of repeat jokes over and over. Like
I think its humor is pretty great. Yeah.
I think they do.
I
in a way
enjoy
that
it a
really
lot.
Works a lot. Like as I said, like the short example, for example.
There are a couple where it's fallen flat for me, but I generally enjoy Brotherhood's like comedy.
Back on topic though. What was it you were talking about?
Crap.
I can't remember.
Caught off guard. Oh yeah. I don't know. I guess we have anything more to say about Fifth Lab? I feel like there's more to
Fifth
say
Lab,
about this
there's like
episode.
it's the start of the Alphonse identity crisis plotline.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
an
have
interesting
defenses for
plotline.
that. We'll get to that when we get to that episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is like directly the next episode. So let's start that, I guess.
Created feelings.
Actually, like, I think that is ultimately the meat of that episode, so, like, I'll just go out of the way and defend it. Like, people said it doesn't make sense because, like, Barry is, like, a serial killer and thus, like, really untrustworthy, but, like, there are a
but
few...
have they considered that Al is, like, 12?
Well, he's, like, 14, in fairness, but, like...
Oh, yeah.
There are defenses I have for this. So, like, it's not... They're kind of ignoring the fact that, like, one, like... Barry is the only other armor user like that Al has met, so there could be like a degree of truth to what he's saying. There's also the fact that like Al doesn't remember what happened like right after the human transformation thing was there. So like he hasn't seen truth yet fully. He's like forgotten until like the greed stuff happens. There's also like something that Ed is just too scared to tell him ultimately, and the fact that like he's a 14-year-old who's like emotionally immature as well.
Yeah,
it's like those things that just make the thing make sense to me in my mind.
Yeah, it was when I was watching it, it was a plotline that like I felt could have dragged if it went on, but it's resolved in literally one episode. Like, I thought it was paced well enough that it essentially just gives one episode of, them growing a little distant and mad at each other, just to have it resolved with the idea of, like, no, you should actually talk about your feelings and issues you have with your family.
There are two important things it has. It just shows, like, how just unbreakable their bond ultimately is, and it shows just how important Winry is to their relationship as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the scene of them talking out their feelings is, like, one of my favorite in the show for that reason.
It's one of my favorite episodes, I really like that episode.
And how it's kind of, like, weaved in with the Winry and Hughes subplot of, you know, him talking about the same idea of, like, have you considered that, like, actually, men just simply don't need to talk about their emotions, they'll just, like, see through actions, and I like this going, like, well, no, sometimes you do need to, like, talk and be a person.
Yeah, it's a really meaningful scene for Hughes because like somehow I've seen like people say that like Hughes has like no meaningful scenes in Brotherhood, which isn't true. That like there's no reason to care about him. I don't see how you could because like I cared about him like immediately as soon as I met him in the show.
I think it's just like the
right wording. I don't know.
The whole. Oh, sorry.
So no, go ahead. It's fine.
The whole like feeling that Al has about himself and who he is makes so much sense because like you kind of understand like if you didn't have your own body and you had lived so long without it, how would you know for sure that you ever actually had a body?
Yeah, like
it's such a natural thing for him to.
I mean, people have insecurities over people have insecurities over who they are, or feeling like, you know, just generally not feeling confident about like what they think they need to be in life, even without the insane supernatural shit Ed or Al goes through. So like, you know, I'll give him a pass on this for feeling insecure for like 20 minutes.
Also, I'm shocked that he's like stayed as composed as he was in that form because like I would go insane immediately.
Uh-huh.
if I was stuck in that form for that long.
If I had to
Yeah.
be awake 24 hours a day before the internet existed, I would go insane.
Yeah.
He existed in, what was it, 1914? His
Yep.
pastime is probably staring at a wall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
he
that's one of the most heartbreaking things is like he can't go to sleep, he can't ever
Yeah.
rest, he has no time to shut off.
and he
That's
can't
kind of
exactly like touch it or feel anything either. Like he obviously can touch, but like
like
he
that's
has no
kind of
feelings. He
insane.
can't eat. He can't feel taste. He can't smell things at all. It's just like it's such a nothing life ultimately for him.
Yeah.
I love Al so much. He's genuinely one of my favorite characters
Al
in
is
all of
great.
Yeah,
fiction. He's
like
such a good character.
Al, I think is my favorite anime character ever. Like this, like recent rewatch has just like made him overtake like Denji from Chainsaw Man for me is like my favorite. So
I love
much.
just the
Sorry, go.
base setup of introducing like Ed as our lead, and then also having Al who is just kind of better in every way. Um, like on top of that, just being like kind of amusing, it serves both of their characters really well.
Yeah,
To have, Ed already has like enough insecurities over, superficial stuff like his height, and then also feeling like he's failed as like an older brother and protector by ruining both of their lives. Um, and yeah, I like the idea that Al has kind of like stepped up and become more responsible as a result of this. Like there are a lot of scenarios where he is better at like, he is better at like being diplomatic or dealing with people. Or just like keeping a clear head most of the time. Like he rarely there's a bit in it's after Envoy to the East, so like further than we're gonna go with this episode, but there's a bit that I like where essentially Al says that he doesn't get a chance to get angry because Al always beats him to it, so or sorry, other way around, Al says he doesn't get angry because Ed always beats him to it, so that's resulted in him being like calm-headed more often.
yeah. Like there is also like an excellent example, which is a bit later, like how they view their fathers. Just shows like just how different they ultimately
Yeah,
are. Like
that's a perfect example,
Ed somewhat
actually.
like hates him, while like Al is just more forgiving towards them, and ultimately like a
Mhm.
bit more like empathetic towards him as well. It's just such a perfect example of just showing just how different their personalities ultimately are. I also love how like how despite how intimidating his armor looks, like he's generally just such a sweetheart.
Yeah, that's another thing, is the amusing bit of like, I mean, even on the thumbnail, that image of Al looks so imposing, and then he has the voice of a 14-year-old and is the nicest guy in the series.
Yeah. Um. What, fuck. What was I gonna say? I immediately forgot. Never mind. Uh. Is there more to say about the Elrics for now?
Um, I think we're good for
Yeah, I think
for
we're
this
mostly done
current
there.
moment.
We could just move on to the next episode, whichever that is. Like, see, the
Separate
thing is,
destinations. Oh, this is a big one.
the thing is, like, I remember what happens in the episodes, but like, I don't remember exactly which episodes they were. Yeah, and this is the thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need a reminder on
I
that.
just have an episode list open so I can be like, oh right, that's where that happened.
Yeah. You want to start then?
Well, the next one is a big one. It's the one where Hughes dies.
Oh yes, this.
So yeah.
uh, is there anything else noteworthy to talk about in that one, really, besides his death?
Uh, Not that I remember. It shows his death and the funeral,
I
which are
know what it
both probably the
represents and
biggest
things
things.
like that. We could talk about
Oh,
that.
oh right. The episode does open with I think it's the first time we see the flashback of Ishval, and we get just like a brief minute of we get to see the scene of him, Hughes and Mustang talking about how like the only way to properly fix things is to reach the rank of Führer.
Yeah. Oh wait, I forget. Is this the episode where like Fuse talks? Sorry, Fuse. Hughes talks about like about why he fights. I forget. Is that the one where that happens?
That might have been the previous one, actually.
Hmm. I don't remember that happening in the previous episode though. fuck, I don't remember which episode that was, but like it like really goes to show just how much like what type of person Hughes ultimately is. He just wants to stay alive ultimately.
Yeah.
Um yeah, there's not just like how friendly he is as well that makes you care about it. It's just how wonderful the moments with his family are. Just like I find it adorable
Yeah.
just how much he just brags about his family. It's like really heartwarming in a way. It just makes his death that much sadder.
Yeah, especially like when you're mainly seeing like the Elrics and the Rockbells, who are like these kind of shattered families that have lost people to either the war or disease or alchemy. Um Getting to see regularly Hughes's like actually functional loving family makes that loss hit harder.
Yeah, and then there's like the fact that they lose to like something else, which is a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual deaths itself, like his actual death is just like, man, it hits hard.
Hmm.
Like the reactions, like the first one where like his daughter's like just like begging for them not to bury him because then he won't be able to go to work. Just really shows just how
Yeah.
much little understanding she has of the world. Then there's like
Hmm.
ultimately the one there's sorry, obviously there's like the one with Mustang as well with how with the rain line. That one
Yeah.
hit particularly hard. Um we won't mention this one and I think we can mention it now. Like the one in season 2 where the Elrics find out about it. I'll let you cover that.
Yeah, the that's probably the bit that hits hardest for me in the show is them visiting Hughes's wife and talking about like how they're considering giving up their quest if it's going to get people around them hurt, and she tells them not to waste Hughes's life by giving up on that quest, and then the the end of the scene with them closing the door and hearing her crying after she thinks they've left is so good.
Yeah. It's also like really tragic how like he dies without the Elrics finding out about it at all. Like they're just like
Yeah,
happily on a train with Winry. Oh, I love his relationship with Winry as well. It just like makes you care about him even more.
yeah,
Um, yeah, like they're just on a train without like knowing anything happened. They're just all cheerful about it. Like right the scene like right after he dies, like right before the funeral. Just like oh my god, like you're just thinking like oh my god, imagine what's gonna happen when they find out.
hmm,
Like ultimately he died due to like Ed's actions, as you mentioned before, which is like something he didn't want to happen.
yeah. Him looking into Philosopher's Stone and the fact that the country is a perfect circle.
Yeah, that is really neat foreshadowing, though Hana doesn't really
Hmm.
know what that's referring to yet.
Yeah. There's
um,
I didn't actually notice that until a buddy of mine pointed it out, but in the first episode, there's literally a line where Isaac says to Ed, "You don't know the shape this country is in," like referring to the state of the nation, but also like just as a literal line of "You don't know the shape this country is in." It's great.
Wait a second. Was that just in the dub?
It might be in the dub.
Yeah, like if so, that I've never heard that line before because I've
Yeah.
always just watched it subbed. That just wasn't in the subtitles. That is cool if true. I like that.
Yeah.
It's like double foreshadowing there.
Yeah, that's a really funny bit of just aggressively foreshadowing.
Yeah. That is cool if that's what the author meant to do.
Hmm.
Um, next we have Rush Valley. I like this section a lot.
Yeah.
um, it Yeah, it shows like more of like Ed and Winry's relationship as well. I do like the change of it from the manga where like instead of like Ed asking to hold the pregnant woman's stomach, like it's Al instead, because so, like he can at
Yeah.
least try to feel something as well. Just shows how
Hmm.
innocent he ultimately is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the what's in the pocket watch as well, like just showing that like Ed's determination and just how far he's willing to go on this quest as well. Like there is also like this like really neat thing where like based on like my like recent rewatch, I like accidentally like timed it so that like I got to like that episode on October 3rd.
Oof.
Yeah. Um,
That's funny.
yeah, like, as I said, like I wasn't even like trying to do that; it just happened. Oh well.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Also,
really
of
to cover
course,
in Rush Valley?
as a guy who's read Star Wars, reading his second thing, this episode is just like in the Final Prophecy when Tahiri begs Corran Horn to make her his apprentice.
Which that reminds me, I gotta finish fucking Rogue Squadron. I haven't read in like a long
You're right.
time. It's been like almost a month, I think.
Oh my god.
I'm like more than halfway through the book. I could like, if I seriously lock in, I could finish it really quickly.
Right.
I'm like really enjoying it. It's a very fun book. I love the cast and everything.
It's I quite like that book. It's why I relentlessly shill for it.
All right, what's next? Is there anything else to really cover about Rush Valley?
Rush Valley.
I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
Then,
I guess there's one other thing, which is like setting up a big thing kind of thematically for later in the show, but I also like the bit of Ed reflecting on like the miracle of like human life over that of alchemy and how it can accomplish things that
there's
alchemy
that too.
can't. Yeah. This is a surprise tool that will help him later.
Oh, there is like one parallel. Like, I guess I can get to it later, but like there is something I noticed while preparing. Like the line like Ed tells the priest is like the same thing that he tells Father during their fight in like the final few episodes.
Get up, you third-rate fraud.
Oh, there's also like there's also
No.
a neat bit of foreshadowing towards Al's feelings in episode 6, where like a raindrop drips down where his eye would be, like foreshadowing a bit of a tear. I like that a lot. Like it just
That's great.
subtly tell. I think that like adds like more credibility to what I was saying earlier, which is like subtly foreshadowing his true feelings of being in that body to begin with. Yeah, that's about all to really say about Rush Valley. The next is like where he meets Izumi again.
Yeah.
Want to start there?
Yeah, sure. All is one, or sorry, one is all is one. Which, yeah, kind of a funny pacing change, because in the manga, this chapter is where we first, like, learn about the Elric brothers' origins. It's, like, tied directly into this, whereas for the show, it's, like, 10 episodes later.
Oh, hang on. There's one thing I actually noticed on my rewatch. So you know the episode where Winry goes back to Central to fix Ed's arm, and like it's the whole same episode as the Al Identity Crisis arc. If you look closely, you can actually see the Curtises in the background. What are they doing there? I just noticed that. Like, huh? It's odd.
Just passing through town.
Yeah, they're just there.
That's
like,
funny.
In the scene where like she's waiting for Armstrong.
Huh.
But yeah, like back.
Oh, actually, sorry. One thing I want to talk about is a difference that I noticed between this and the manga is kind of the passage of time is a little like different. Where the first like 30 chapters of the manga seem to take place over the course of like a year.
Does it? Oh, that's interesting.
Because or at least like a good couple of months, because it starts with Ed being 15, and over the course of it, he turns 16, because this isn't adapted in this, but in the bit where they go to meet their mentor, when Al gets kidnapped in the manga, Ed is trying to get his yearly certification done, which is why he's out of town when it happens.
I see. Okay.
Whereas in the show, he just like stepped out for a second and got kidnapped.
Yeah, like the only time skip I was really aware of is like the one between like season 3 and it's like during season 4, I think.
And that's I don't know, kind of an odd change to me. It feels like there's less of a flow of time, although in fairness, for like the change, it feels like after that Ed gets his like his certification for the year. It kind of goes back to like comic logic of like time is a lot more vague. We don't really know until that time skip happens. So I guess maybe they cut it from the show to avoid an expectation of like each season will be like a year or so.
Yeah. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Alright, what do we want to talk about first in regards to this episode? I guess we should talk about like the flashback sequence. There is like a bit of a difference there. Like they cut out that one guy like in the mask hunting them down during that.
Employee whose name escapes me, who
I'm iffy on that because like I do like her from the perspective that she is trying to look out for them, but at the same time it feels a bit mean spirited. I don't know.
I get it from the perspective of like she doesn't actually just drop them on an island to die, because you have that scene where like he gives Ed the fish. But like I don't know. I guess maybe the reason for cutting that is they wanted the realization of what her message means to be like fully on their own rather than having. Because a big step towards it is that conversation he has with the guard, whose name I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either. Who's never particularly important. There is another thing where like doesn't feel as mean spirited in Brotherhood because like it's significantly nicer than what her training was. Like she says she spent a month in Briggs, and then like later you find out she wasn't lying.
Yeah, fighting bears.
Oh wait, have you seen that OVA where like her and Sig actually like meet, and like Sig's like, "Oh, you had dropped your bear." Have you seen that at all?
I have not. That's great.
I've seen that scene at all. I haven't seen the full actual. I haven't actually seen any of the OVAs for Brotherhood. I should do that.
I've read a short story about her time. Like I have the 20th anniversary edition for the manga.
Oh, as in the Fullmetal edition?
Yeah, the Fullmetal edition, and like in that they have
those.
a short story about her time at Briggs, but I don't think it had that part, or I'm just forgetting.
I'm actually planning on like collecting those soon.
Yeah.
At the moment, I just have like the first like 3-in-1 volume. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else we should really talk about in that flashback?
Well, I got a couple things to say about, like, I really love Izumi Curtis as a mentor. She's, like, one of the highlights for this series for me. I love her take on, like, alchemy, essentially, of, it should be, like... I really like her view of alchemy should be essentially something to enhance what you are, rather than it being something you rely on entirely. Where, she always makes an effort to have the Elric brothers, spar and exercise and train so that they can function without it. And we see, like, with her helping people around town, when they'll ask her to, like, fix toys or whatever, she'll always try to do it with tools because she doesn't want to become over-reliant on alchemy.
Yeah.
To relate it back to NJO again, it's a lot like Mara's teachings to Anakin on the Force in Darktide.
I think there's one thing in Brotherhood I actually really like, how like she's significantly nicer to Al when like she greets them.
Yeah, that bit's funny.
It's also deserved. But yeah.
I also do love just the like it's like a simple subversion of expectations, but I do love the build-up of like their mentor is the scariest guy they've ever seen in their lives, and when they go to visit her, we see like them greeted by Sig Curtis, who is this like giant fucking muscly, like, stern-looking guy, who like pats them on the head and says he's glad to see them, and then they meet his like 5'6" wife, who proceeds to beat them to the edge of death.
Oh fuck! I just realized Brotherhood kind of ruined that because they showed her in episode 2.
That's true.
That's damn, a shame. Okay. Yeah, that is a cool introduction for him. Yeah, like it's kind of like a cool like parallel to the Armstrongs, where like Alex has the physique of a bear with like the
Yeah.
personality of a teddy bear, but then like Olivier is far smaller than him, and she has the
Yeah.
personality of like an actual bear.
Yeah,
I like
and
how
she
like
also
later...
straight up beats him in a fight later on, despite
like-
him being an alchemist.
I also like how like they all become best friends later.
Yeah.
Okay, what was like... I like that scene where like where she realizes the truth. That like
Yeah.
it did strike me as odd at first, where like she didn't suspect Al at all, but like it turns out like she actually was, and then like she like came back to them later.
Yeah.
I like the foreshadowing episode 2 gave it, where like where Al says that like Ed can do the same thing his master can.
Mm-hmm.
For that scene, like the actual scene itself is like them just trying to convince themselves that like there's nothing, that they don't feel like terrible about like everything that's happened, when like their master can see like right through them and then comforts them with
Yeah,
it.
like
It's like a really
I love
touching
that.
scene.
I love that other half of that other half of her of, being introduced as haha, their like extremely violent, serious teacher, having that itself subverted again by the scene where she says that like she's sad that they've repeated her own mistakes. It's a great bit.
Like I guess she's like just kind of the mother like they had at one point.
Yeah.
They just don't anymore. What else is there to... Okay, then there's the greed stuff. I like greed
Sorry,
a
you
lot.
cut out for me a bit there.
Sorry, I guess there's the greed stuff as well. Am I still cutting out?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's not... Okay, I think I'm back. Give me a fucking second.
Alright.
Hang on. Alright, how's that now?
Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, sorry about that.
Fuck, I can't remember what I was saying now.
You're talking about
Yeah, let's talk... Oh yeah, I was talking about greed, that's right. I like the interpretation of like greed, how like they reinterpreted it from being like just caring about himself to just caring about people close to him as well. It's like an interesting subversion of it.
yeah. Yeah, that's one thing is that immediately like I loved about him as a character is that in contrast to the other homunculi who we had like seen bits of, he just feels like such a like kind of like a normal guy.
Yeah, like he
you could
rebels from
you could
father as
reasonably
well.
just like have a conversation with him about like something normal, which I think is really amusing for a homunculus named Greed.
Yeah, he's
That
just like
essentially he's just a dude who's like, yeah, I want to like live longer. But other than that, he's like fairly normal.
yeah. I like how like he isn't part of the main group anymore because he just has way too much of his own ambitions to really care about any of that.
Yeah.
I do like how like he has a bunch of his own like outcasts as well with him.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of like way better chimeras.
Which also like foreshadows just how shady the military have been in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they established like, oh yeah, if they have like near-death soldiers, they'll like report them as dead and then just like merge them with an animal for experiments.
Yeah. Is there anything to really say about it besides that? I like his saying that like anything's possible ultimately. There's a
Yeah.
no way, there's no way. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Fuck, I remember like him contradicting that later. I don't remember what the exact circumstance was though. I'd
And,
have to like,
it's-
rewatch it.
Yeah, it's kind of getting ahead, but I do also love that like Greed essentially, like this is skipping quite a bit far ahead, but I do love that Greed essentially his main motivation is friends.
Yeah, that's like pretty like
He's fun.
that's kind of clear from the start.
Yeah, like he's just
that's all
surrounded
he
himself
wants
with like a
deep
group
down.
of he's like genuinely upset when his like pawns and underlings, quote unquote, die.
Yeah, like I guess we'll finish that once we get to like the 5th coverage of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is there notable? Oh yeah, the twist. Do you want to talk about the twist with Bradley?
Oh yeah. It's
I've
uh I
I've
complete
talked about the foreshadowing with him. Oh, there's some I didn't mention actually, like how he's like tries to be all friendly with them, like how he like acts human as well with them, like to gain their
yeah.
trust. Or like you genuinely think he might not be, but then like, oh no,
Yeah.
he is. I like the
Yeah, or
reveal
him being
that
like,
of the symbol
"Hey
being
bro,
on his
check
eye
out
as
this,"
well.
and getting his head exploded to show off.
I was talking about Bradley, not Greed, but yeah.
Oh shoot, sorry.
Um,
Sorry, I'm
I'd probably cut out for you. It's fine.
my bad.
Yeah, I was talking about like Bradley trying to like gain their trust and the like. I like the
Yeah.
foreshadowing of like his symbol being on his eye, which is always found like an eye patch.
Yeah. And it is something that's like interesting in retrospective, like watching the show the first time I was like, well, obviously I still think that King Fuhrer Bradley is a bad dude. There are some subtle hints as to that. Um, but like I was curious about like, oh, is there like different sinister factions within this government? And so no, I like the recontextualization later on that like no, he's just lying through his teeth when he essentially goes, "Hey guys, I'm definitely looking into this, which is why you cannot tell anyone what's going on at all. Trust."
Yeah. Um. Yeah, and then like fuck. What was I gonna say? It shows like the ultimate weaknesses of homunculi afterwards, where like just if they die too much, they die for good.
Hmm.
With like Greed being returned back to Father, and then that's kind of where season one just ends. I don't remember that. Oh yeah, there's also them finding out that Al is like an empty body, an empty armor body.
Yeah, that's initially what Greed wants, right? Is to
Yeah,
figure out, oh, how do you get put in a new body?
I'm curious how he would get put in that because I don't think homunculi in this version have souls, right? Yeah,
Uh,
because I know in O3 they don't, but like here they're just like a collection of souls because they're philosopher's stones
I think
ultimately.
it's like Stone Ocean's Foo Fighter situation, where if you've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or read it,
I've only like
where
I'm still on part
okay,
one.
just getting like
I don't care about spoilers, so go ahead.
okay, yeah, going way ahead to quite literally the final part of the series, but we do see that like Greed seems to have some sort of like actual soul as a result of the like conglomerate of souls that makes up himself.
Wait, oh
Um,
yeah, that is true. They do have souls because like the whole thing with
yeah.
Bradley later. Yeah, so I think they would.
Yeah,
They would
we do actually
ultimately.
see them like kind of questioning that, where like Bradley says that like he doesn't know whether the one soul inside of him is his original one or like some combination of a bunch of them or just like a random one that ended up winning the free for all.
I think it's most likely it's a combination of the soul of Wrath and Bradley. I think that's what
Yeah.
most likely happened there.
Yeah,
He
probably.
because he acts human, but at the same time he doesn't. You know, like
Hmm.
he at
Yeah.
least
Oh,
knows how
also,
to.
sorry, technically the finale of season one is Izumi Curtis coming in to rescue Al from his fight.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess we've covered everything then that
Yeah.
really needs covering.
I will just kind of touch on, I guess, like another thing that's really fun is like this whole bit with Greed is super interesting, both like from a character perspective, like I love seeing him uh first of all kind of like challenge what we think of the other homunculi by being more of an like approachable person who has different goals. He's not just an extension of Father's will.
Yeah, I
Um
mentioned that
but
before.
then also seeing him like be able to like push Ed's buttons like really effectively because like there's a bit where he just sort of calls out like the while he's beating him up how like man I can like beat you up forever but you get like this mad about me threatening your brother. Um Also like mechanically that's like a really fun fight. I love essentially the way that it's treated as like a puzzle that Ed has to solve with
Yeah.
like oh, his ultimate shield ability works by like creating a hardened like a diamond hard carbon layer of like armor. but he can use alchemy to like to make that brittle to wound him.
It's also really good foreshadowing for later.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's a very fun like way to kind of show us how Ed's skill as an alchemist isn't just that like he is able to like make a bigger statue than another alchemist could or whatever. It's that like he's good at like problem solving and understanding the mechanics of stuff.
That is like one thing that I like that the mining town chapter had. Like a lot of with the
Yeah.
gold and the like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like really sad that one was cut. That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorites of the early chapters. I think Yoki's really funny ultimately. I am kind of glad he had his own like mini redemption arc later.
Yeah.
That is like neat how like he's like one of the keys to defeating Father.
I
in a way.
love that Yoki just gets caught in like this insane bullshit.
I like how like that gag of them just continually just suffering. It's
Yeah.
really funny. I think that's about everything though. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, let's talk about the first the first ending. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Love the little yeah, like the storybook style by Ed and Al.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
I think I like the first opening as well, but I think the second one's kind of better. Yeah,
I could go either way. I really like
Yeah.
both of those first two openings.
Actually, I think my favorite one I think is the fourth opening. Yeah, I don't think there's anything left to really cover with this.
Yeah.
I think we just about done everything. We're like past an hour now into the recording.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're done. Nice having you
Awesome.
on, Wes. Thank you. I love
Yeah,
talking
no
about the
problem.
show. We'll definitely be talking about more.
Yeah.
We'll,
I'd be happy to come back for that.
the next 5 Star Forge episodes are going to be about this, so we're just gonna we'll have you and Bagel on like 5 times in a row, or Bagel's case
All right.
4 times. But yeah, good to having you. Go follow him on Twitter. His Twitter link is in the description.
Oh yeah.
Go read Rogue Squadron, especially watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And with that,
True.
goodbye.